Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome to the A Podcast. My name is Naomi Green, and I'm excited to be here today with these lovely ladies. And we're doing a podcast called This Woman's Work today. I'll allow them to introduce themselves.
Hi, everyone. My name is Helen Zimba. Some kids call me Nana, and I'm an auntie. Some people call me Queen Mom. So, thank you.
Already jumping into all the things that a woman does, right?
Right.
Various roles. So I am Dr. Cynthia Johnson-Jones, and I am glad to be here to discuss woman's work. We're getting it done. So,
Period. As we always do. Well, today is March 5th, and we are excited to be here. Last week wrapped up Black History Month. And so, as you know, or if you don't, March is Women's History Month. And so we are going to dive into a great discussion today about womanhood, what it means to be a woman, mental health. We're going to talk about HIV, aging with HIV, aging as a woman and what all of that means, and just really discuss like all the things that go into being a woman, being a Black woman also specifically, and just navigating the different spaces and nuances of womanhood. So I know that, with March being Women's History Month, let's kind of talk a little bit about, what it means to be a woman, what it means to age, as a woman. Like you just said, Miss Cynthia, there's so many hats that women have to wear.
And it gets confusing. Yeah, many hats. And I think there can be times it gets confusing because in the process of wearing the various hats, we are self-conscious about, am I doing it right? And so that's where the mental health piece starts second guessing us in our efforts. So I am a mom. I am a wife. I knew Queenie. We got a new one coming in the house. So I am a new Queenie in this space. I am a sister. I am an auntie. I am a great auntie. I am a girlfriend amongst, my girls, all the things. And so, yes, it gets to be, at times it can be overwhelming. But when we sit back, we welcome all of those pieces, all the various hats, because we can make them as cute as we need them to be, right? And so I think about on the journey of being a Black woman, wearing many hats, looking at Mama Nim, Auntie Nim, and the way they did it. That can be the pressure that we carry sometimes, but when we choose to step in those roles and do it our way, that's when it's not as heavy.
It's a lot of hats.
Not a lot of hats, yeah.
It's a lot of hats.
It is. And I do know that, being a woman, they want you to be a superwoman. Because they think you can do it all. But, we carry too many hats, like you said. You have to know where to wear which hat. They say, yeah, I'm a woman, but right now, I need help. And it's not that easy. It's not that easy. Saying
I need help is not that
it's
easy.
Not
because,
easy.
Again, knowing that you have that many hats to carry, and I got that many hats, it's like I can't reach out and ask for help. Yeah. And therefore, the struggle gets real.
Right.
And so that makes it the heaviest of it all.
Right.
And oftentimes, who are you going to reach out to help? Right? Who are you going to get the help from?
Right.
And so that's why it's important to have kind of this womanhood and this sisterhood and these bonds to help uplift and support each other. One of the things that you said, talking about all of the different hats that you wear, how taxing it can be, right? Both physically and mentally. I know that I've read some things and studies will show that men who are married live longer, but women who are married live shorter. Yeah. And that's because
who's benefiting from that,
exactly.
Right?
That's because of the pressure that oftentimes is put on the woman, right? Having to be the provider in some instances, as well as the nurturer, as well as the teacher,
right.
As well as the person that keeps the house fed, that makes sure that everyone is taking care of themselves, that everyone's getting those doctor's appointments, those visits, for mental health. But are we actually checking on ourselves? And another thing that you said was a Black woman, right? And the intersectionality of being a Black woman and what can come along with that. Because not only do we have to be women, but we also have to be Black before being a woman.
That's the first thing they see.
Right.
They see the Black coming at them and they get the rest of it too.
Right.
And so oftentimes when we talk about being a Black woman, right, people forget that one, we're Black, but two, we're a woman. right? And so intersectionality and thinking about all that we have to deal with first just being Black. We don't escape that just because we are women. We still have to deal with all of the things that any other Black person, including Black men, have to deal with. And then also what we have to deal with being a woman on top of that, right? And all the struggles and all of the adversity and everything that we have to, when we talk about womanhood. And that's why it's important for us to show up for each other, right? To be a tribe for each other. I'd like to hear, you all's perspective on what has the experience and the journey been like for you two being cisgender women aging, right? As you get older as Black women.
And so you were saying all of those things that we are doing, and then we want to be cute doing it, right?
That part.
So you want to be cute doing it. And so you are trying, that's added stress because now I need to do what it takes to look like to make me feel good. I need to do what it takes to blend in to where catch an eye is good. You're doing all of those things. And then I still have to manage laundry. I still have to manage, my car breaking down or any of those various pieces. The stress is there too. But my journey has, as I reflect, has not been overwhelmingly throughout. There have been moments that have been very heavy. And what do? I have the girlfriends that you reach out to, or you have the husband that you have the conversations with, or even the family, because my family is, I'm going to say we're actually pretty close because I have an older brother and a younger brother. And they look out for me too, and show love of various things. And it's not odd to get a call to say, how's it going for you today? It's good. But if I'm having a moment and it's like, I need to call somebody, who am I going to call? It actually depends on the situation, right? If I'm having a stressful moment with the husband, I'm not going to call him, right? I'm going to call the girlfriend that I know is going to give me some sound advice and some direction that's going to be meaningful for my relationship beyond that moment. It's not just a, hands on the hip kind of thing going, but it's good and meaningful because it's the journey that we are on, that we are trying to go forward on, not just short-lived steps, but the journey as a whole.
How about you?
Yeah. Oh, well, it hasn't been easy for me because culturally I had to adjust. So me adjusting, I have to have the kids adjust as well. So, living here, trying to do what we do here in America, because I grew up here and my kids grew up here too, but culturally I still want to maintain those things that I used to do back home with my children. So it has been a struggle, but it works because it's all depends on what you talk about in the house. So it's a lot of affirming in the home all the time, because I see sometimes my kids like standing up talking to people. I'm like, you can't do that. You can't do that. You gotta be down a little bit. So it's about adjusting, but it has not been easy. But we're making it. We're making it. Growing up different way and now living a different way. We just have to adapt. Yeah.
When I think about aging as a woman, I think about my mom, more than anything. Being a Black woman, being 65 years old, all that comes along with that, especially being single, her not being married, having to navigate, doctor's appointments. My mother.
Oh, okay.
My mother. Yes. Yes.
I was like, wait a minute.
You look good.
I was like, wait a minute.
Hello. Baby, listen, I hope to look as good as she does at 65. But, that goes along with looking good while doing it, right? Still working multiple jobs, she's doing that, having to worry about, worry about me, being her only child, not having a man, still wanting to have a life, navigating doctor's appointments and all of those different things. And, she has her tribe, she has her best friend, she has her sister, and that's really what she leans on a lot is, that sisterhood, that bond that they form, and they lean on each other. And I think that is extremely important especially for women who are not married, but also for women who are, to make sure that you do have that other voice, you know, that can uplift you, that can affirm you, that can do all of those things that you can go to when you are having marital issues or, you know, boyfriend problems or
kids
issues
acting
at
crazy.
work, kids acting crazy,
all that.
you know, all of those things that can kind of affirm you, keep you aligned, keep you uplifted. You know, that's really important. And also give you a sense of kind of belonging, you know, when you have that as well. But I think of her and, you know, for me, being a Black woman, you know, being trans and adding that additional layer is difficult sometimes, right? Because again, the intersectionality, first people see Black, right? They see a woman, and I don't always, you know, everywhere I go, hi, I'm Naomi, I'm a trans woman, right? But when I do, having to navigate that space as well, and constantly, again, on top of being a daughter, on top of being a house mother, on top of being a community leader and an advocate, on top of having, you know, my LGBTQ or gay kids, you know, on top of being a sister, an auntie, a cousin, and, you know, all of the things that have to do with a business owner, you know, all the hats that I wear, you know, then also having to defend my womanhood, right? And explain and educate people on my transness. It gets taxing. You know, it gets extremely taxing. And so I know for me, it's my village that keeps me uplifted. It's my mom, it's my auntie, it's, you know, my sisters, it's, you know, my friends and my other trans sisters and, you know, my cisgender women who are my friends and things of that nature who I find solace in, who help keep me energized and recharged. And, you know, when I need my cup filled, that is who, you know, fills me in. But I have to also take steps back for my own mental health, for my own sanity, and making sure that I'm taking care of myself, because oftentimes people forget about self-care, and the most important care is self-care. And anytime I start talking about self-care, one of the first things I think about is every time I get on a plane, right? When they're going through all the emergency rules, one of the first things that they tell you is if the oxygen masks come down,
put yours on first.
Put yours on first before helping the person next to you, right? Because how can you help somebody else breathe when you're barely breathing on your own? And so that's important. How am I able to show up for someone else if I'm not able to show up for myself fully, right? And I'm at my best self when I'm whole. And so it's really important as women to make sure that we have that self-care. What does self-care look like to you?
And in addition to the self-care, avoiding the guilt, because sometimes we feel guilty when we are
taking time for ourselves.
I don't know how you can avoid that, because like I know that for me, because I always feel like I have to provide, I have to show up. I have to show up for those kids. I have to show up for my community that's depending on me. So I leave my stuff behind, taking care of this. And I listen to that all the time too, to say, put on your mask before the child. But in real life, if that happens, probably it will be like this first, trying to save the child before yourself. I can't see a mom or a woman who would do that for themselves first. I think.
But let's say why you have to, because again, if you're struggling trying to take care of them and you die, it's over. And so who knows what's going to happen to that child? And then on this journey that we are taking, we have to provide that self-care, because when we are frazzled, when we are quick to make decisions, all the poor decisions that we can make, if we had just stopped and settled, maybe our decisions or outcomes would look a little different. And so self-care for me encouraging everyone, self-care is priority, because you have to take care of yourself so that I can help you make the good decisions, so that I can help you at the crossroads when you get there. If I had put no time in taking care of me or wanting good things for me, I'm not going to care about what's good for you. I'm not going to care about what's good for you because I'm struggling. I am frazzled. I have nothing to give.
Burnout.
I am major burnout. So again, that's why the self-care is important. To be able to put yours on, so I can get some breathing, and so I can help you. So I can completely help you.
But I think all that is when you have support. When you have support for somebody to tell you that I got you. When you have support, somebody says I got you, that's when you can take care of yourself. Because if there's nobody else to tell me, that they got me, I won't be able to do those things.
You're right. Yeah.
I want some assurance that it's going to be okay, because people look at us women as we have everything. We have the answers, and that we don't.
Mm-hmm. We don't
Because
have
we
them all.
need,
We got some, but we don't have them all, right?
yeah, we need help too. But you know, we find ourselves in a bind sometimes. I see that in the HIV community a lot, because I mean, me working in the HIV community and having the lived experience, I've seen it. I've seen how we are burned out, especially when you're working in this field, because you forget about yourself.
Yeah.
You're always thinking about helping somebody else. But who takes care of the caretaker?
Right.
Who helps the caretaker?
Right.
So how do you, because you brought this point up about feeling guilty, right, to take self-care. What do you do, and how do you not feel guilty to take that time out for yourself? And what does self-care look like for you?
For me, sometimes it's just being by myself. I tend to isolate a lot. I don't know if that's good or bad, but I shut down. I know it's not good, but that's
But it's understandable when you're overloaded.
because I feel like because me being a person who is always offering help to other people, I feel like not like nobody's going to listen to me. I feel like a failure some kind of a way to be asking when I'm the one who is always giving, or the one always having resources for people to do it. So I feel guilty sometimes. And then I feel so good when I get it done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about you?
And so for me, self-care, my mom shared with me, the littlest room in the house is the best room ever. And I'm like, what is the littlest room in the house?
Yeah.
The bathroom. That's where you go and you are by yourself. And typically, unless you have little bitty ones,
Yeah.
it's your time alone.
Yeah.
Whatever you're doing, they know that that's a moment to be still.
Yeah.
So take your time in the bathroom, close the door. Whether you choose to sit or stand, that's your business. 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Maybe after 30 minutes, they'll come looking for you.
Yeah.
But in that time, you need to take your deep breaths, settle your mind. Allow the space to happen for you to ground and be aware of what's going on around you. So that will help alleviate the guilt when you're able to, I'm in the bathroom, I'm doing bathroom things, whatever that is, to be still and know I got my moment. And I wanted to also address how we show up for the younger generations, because we are getting older.
Yeah.
I'm not the spring chicken I used to be, but I think it's important for me to reach out to show them, hey, as we're on this journey, I got you. You said I got you. I can't do everything for you because you get to take care of some things yourself, but I can be on support and I can encourage you and not feel some kind of way because I'm making it about you. It's okay for it to be about somebody else, because somewhere on my journey, it was about me. So looking out for others on this journey, I think for us as Black women is important. Not that we're shunning anybody, but we are empowered when we're able to empower someone else.
Right.
And give you the words to go on for your journey, so I can see you, hey, you're making it. You got it too, so I can do it too. Keep going, girl. You got this.
Yeah.
Push.
Yeah. I know for me, it's a little bit of what both of you said. And I smiled a lot when you talked about the bathroom. Because, baby, I love me a good hour shower. Okay?
Get it where you can.
I turn my music on. I'm in the shower. I'm singing. I'm just letting the water fall on me. You know, I'm really just taking that time for myself and listening to my music and just vibe. I'm just literally sometimes just standing in there, you know, not even like washing anything. I'm just in the shower.
Taking the moment.
Taking the moment. And, you know, self-isolation can be good, right? And oftentimes that's what I do. Like, especially on a Sunday, oftentimes I'm just in the house. I don't even leave the house. Sometimes I don't even get out of the bed.
Pajama days are good.
Yes.
Pajama days are good.
That is just my day, right? That is just my time. Like, for me to just do it. I rarely ever do anything on a Sunday. It's Naomi day. But also for me, it's like taking care of myself. It's getting my nails done. It's, you know, getting a pedicure. Ooh, it's going to the hair salon and getting my hair washed. Oh my God. Like when I say that for me, like that is self-care, just laying back in that bowl and getting my scalp massaged. And oh my God, like that's self-care because when you look good, you feel good.
Right.
And oftentimes, even on my bad days where I'm tired, I'm lethargic, I'm not motivated, I'm not energized, those are the days that I look my best because you look how you feel. And then oftentimes once I get done up and I'm my makeup and my hair and I'm, looking fab and all of these things, I look in the mirror and I'm like, okay, it reminds me of the bad chick that I am. Right. And so that motivates me and it pumps me up a little bit more. And so I think it's really important to make sure that as women, we are taking that time out for ourselves because it is extremely important, especially when you are in this HIV work, whether you are someone who is advocating for people who are living with HIV or whether you're living with HIV yourself or providing and taking care of a family member, a friend, or a loved one or someone else who is living with HIV, right? One of the things that I have learned since I got into this work is that self-isolation, especially for people who are living with HIV and aging, is a major issue because as we get older,
tell me about it. I can tell you all about it.
Yes, especially those who have been, living with HIV longer. That support group, as you get older, continues to get smaller and smaller oftentimes. And so it's important to make sure that you have that support group. You have that group of individuals that, you can turn to talk about issues, to kind of have a sense of camaraderie with that you can share and, have a sense of belonging and just, someone that, you share a struggle with or a bond with or, things of that nature because it's not easy living, period. So living with HIV, of course, is not either.
And, living with HIV is really challenging because, nobody, like you said, you don't just go to tell people to say, hey, I'm Naomi, I'm trans. I don't go out and say, hey, I'm Helen, I'm HIV positive. Nobody does that. So it is not easy. So it's good to know people where they are so that you can know that I'm stressed before I even tell you because you know me. So for me, my circle, I keep my circle not small. I keep it the way that I'm paying attention to each other. Because if I know that this person is not acting the way they're supposed to, then I know that there's something going on. That's when you activate.
Yeah.
You activate.
But what keeps us from having compassion just because you are my sister? I don't have to know the details of anything. Yeah. You showed up black, which in my head tells you already got a whole lot of things going. Right. You showed up as a woman. Yeah. You already got a whole lot of things going. What keeps me then from being a supporter of you just because you're on the journey? Right. You still here going forward. Yeah. Why do I have to say anything negative or judgmental to tear you down?
The community sometimes can be.
And so that's where, again, our mental health is important because me tearing you down doesn't make me feel better. Me lifting you up should be the part that helps you feel better and me feel better.
Yeah.
What does bonding look like? I know one of the struggles, and I talk to my mom about this oftentimes as well, is like you talked about your circle. We kind of get comfortable with just the people that may be within our circle or not, right? As we get older, we're a little bit more cautious of who we allow in our space. We get these feelings of no new friends. They made a song about it. I don't need no stinking new friends. I don't need no friends.
No, because some people bring energy, some energy that you don't need. Yeah. And you can tell that energy before it even gets to you. So
how do you create those new connections though? How do you create new healthy relationships so that you are able to continue to grow and, meet new people and kind of expand your circle? I know one thing I remember, hearing is your net worth influences your net worth, right? And so, and net worth doesn't always have to be how much money you have, but also your sense of self-worth, right? Sometimes can increase by your network when you're surrounded by people who are constantly uplifting you, who are pouring into you instead of you always being the one to pour into everyone else. how do you continue to make those new connections so that you are able to get new friends or new people who are able to help you, like who help elevate you, who help keep you lifted up, who pour into you, who, turn you on to new things, opportunities, resources, all of those things, show you new things. How do you, as you get older, stay open to making those new friends and connections?
I think being open-minded, to me, it's about being open-minded to make those healthy relationships. I've been lucky that my relationship have come naturally. I can meet somebody today, I know that, we can get along. Before they even say anything, you can feel. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you can feel, I don't know, I can. Mm-hmm. I can feel the energy. So, knowing people beyond that too is important, because sometimes we can see a person, you've never talked to them before, but because you think that, I don't think they're friendly. You can do that too. But then after you talk to them, you find out they're the nicest people. That's your help. That's your everything. Yeah. And then you're like, oh my God, I wish I knew you a long time ago.
Come back. I think categories. You put people in your categories, and it's not a bad thing. You have your work family, you have your church family, you have your sisterhood family, however you do that. And in my head, as long as you are open, like you referenced, to, you're new to my work family. Hey, how are you doing? Yeah. And it's not a, what are you going to do? Yeah. Or what can I get from you?
Right.
It's an opportunity to engage. And I'm hoping at some point, maybe, again, just talking to you, a smile over lunch. Yeah. I will feel good and be able to walk away, and you will as well.
Yeah. Yes, I like that.
Yeah, I know for me, it's just, like you said, staying open-minded. Mm-hmm. I mean, I have been on the other end of that, people seeing me and just making certain assumptions just because of my, resting mean face, I'll say, instead of the real word, right? Instead of the real word, and so sometimes people do that, but then just kind of sparking those conversations, Helen, you and I have met each other, we connect outside of just the things that we do within the community and share space and things like that. I know for me also, it's like you talked about the younger generation, it's making those connections with the younger generation and pouring into them and teaching them. I am a part of an organization called Black Ladies in Public Health. And I know one of the things that really keeps me energized, and you've worked with us, is a grant that we had working on HBCU students, women and girls who are students at HBCUs, and educating them on HIV and pouring into them. That has been very energizing, taking women from across the United States from different campuses, educating them on HIV, making sure that they understand what it is, what it looks like. And then just also womanhood, period, right? Like connecting with them, talking to them about choice, talking to them about sexual health, talking to them about women's health, talking to them about mental health, as well as HIV, and understanding how it all kind of comes together, and then sending them back to campus, allowing them to create space and, create opportunities to educate other people, because, research shows that essentially women do everything. Like you talked about, we lead everything. And a lot of the work that's done within the home, within the family, that's done within the Black community comes from women, specifically graduates also of HBCUs and PBIs. And so I know me being a student and a graduate of one, we don't talk about HIV, right? I didn't learn about it on campus, and I was right in Jackson, Mississippi, which is a hot spot. Right. And so didn't hear anything about it, wasn't educated on it. And so how do we, stop this epidemic from ravaging our families, from ravaging our communities, if we're not educated on it? And so we made it our business to make sure that we are starting there and educating women so that they can take that information and disseminate it out into their social networks, into their families, into their communities, into their churches, and all of those different things, right? That's really important. And so I know for me, like, as a woman, that is like something that I've made new connections from, that keeps me grounded, that keeps me motivated. And it also gives me a sense of self-worth, is connecting with the younger generation and continuing to teach them.
And impacting the future going forward. Because when they walk away with the knowledge, wow, that's very powerful.
And they have a different language too. Like, I mean, when we were growing up, the things that they talk about now, so we learn things from younger people too. So as we grow older, young people come to us for that knowledge. So it's important for us to be knowledgeable.
We need to know.
We need to be knowledgeable.
We need to know.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
So who have been women that have influenced your work or that have been impactful for you in mental health, in your womanhood, in HIV, those different things, especially the mental health piece? Like, who helps, make you aware of it or got you motivated to really focus on that and pay attention to it and take the self-care and all the things that we kind of talked about?
I addressed Mama. Mama was one that definitely encouraged taking care of you. How you show up was a representation of the household. So I need you to take care of you so you're not out there doing foolishness stuff. And so in that, my mom actually pushed education. You go education. People will value you. Unfortunately, they put that on. You have the education piece. And so thinking about what the next steps were for me going forward and making an impact in the world that I live in, I knew I needed to be educated for them to listen to me. Because typically people of color, if you are not bringing some letters behind your name, and so after George Floyd, that actually was my turning point. We as Black people watched that on TV. And we felt just that. We were traumatized. And it's like, okay, I have to do something to help my people live beyond this moment, because again, it was very heavy. And so at that time, I was like, I need to go get the PhD. And so I went back to school to learn. My PhD is in family studies because I wanted to be able to make a difference in my Black community. So that's how I ended up in this space. And it just so happens with that I'm a licensed professional counselor, that I knew to help you, I need to be able to give you the tools and tips to help you live beyond watching George Floyd die on TV. And that's just one. And again, that we can list a whole slew of people of color that have lost lives. And I think about, oh my gosh, what is her name? That sang the song Strange Fruit. There we go.
Josephine Baker? No.
Her. And it was a while before I realized what her fruit was. And it's like, that we as people of color carry trauma. And how do we move beyond? We're going to think about the name. And at some point in the podcast, they're going to run it across the bottom of the screen because they got those kind of skills. But that just knowing we as people of color, we have to live better and support each other. So that's why I encourage, it's not just about me. It's about me helping you. Me saying, come on, I got you. Let's do this for you. Want to do something? Let's see how we can get that done for you in your life. So pushing those kind of things is what has got pushed me on this journey. So mama, aunties, I have cousins, female cousins that I've seen balance all those things we threw in the air at the beginning and do it well without tearing me down on my journey, pushing me forward to be great. So those were the ones for me.
For me, it was my auntie. My auntie played a big role in my life because I did have a child at a young age. And, the parents, traditionally the parents didn't talk to you that much, but your aunties did. So my auntie told me a lot, and my auntie encouraged me that even though I'm young, I can still live my life and still make it. And I did take that. Went back to school. I didn't stop school when I had the baby. I continued until when I met in the later years, maybe I was in my late 20s, I met this wonderful woman. Her name was Dr. Barbara Cambridge. Dr. Barbara Cambridge encouraged me to do what I need to do and to live out loud about my life, because I realized that when I was not talking about what's going on with me, it was heavy on me. But once I started living out loud, it became a little bit easier. Not that easy, but it became a little bit lighter for me because I did that, I was able to get help that I need up to now. So I encourage everybody to do that. As I grow older, my daughter, my sons, they have friends and they come to me, mommy, mommy, mommy. So now I can't even go out. Everybody's like, mommy.
Yeah. You're showing up for them, right?
Right. So I'm the mommy. So I have to keep, showing up, especially with our Black children. We have to keep doing that because knowledge is powerful. Knowledge is powerful. Thank you.
I know for me, it was my mom, first and foremost, who told me that it's okay to be gay, right? Prior to my transition, I was still in high school and she sat me down and asked me, are you a homosexual, right? I know that you have homosexual tendencies, but are you a homosexual? And if you are, it's okay, right? I'm still going to love you. Your family's still going to love you. And you should be proud of it. That struck me when she said you should be proud of it, right? Yes, and be okay with who you are and be proud of who you are because you are still who you are. And so that gave me a sense of worth and value early on, right? Prior to me even being comfortable, because I was unsure of my identity because, I'm an 80s baby. So, I grew up, I didn't know what trans was. I was just on this journey trying to figure out who I was and why I felt different. And why I felt different and, wasn't comfortable with like my body and just, all of the things. And so it was that moment that I really felt okay exploring and trying to figure out like what that looked like for me. And so when I did figure out that it was trans after, going to college and started my journey, I knew that my mom was going to be okay with it. And that was really important for me, especially being an only child or my mom's only child. That was really important for me. And so as pertains to mental health and just that piece, like it's been her and always speaking my mind and being opinionated and telling me I got a mouth and use it and all those different things. That meant a lot. Oprah was another person. And I say Oprah because Oprah let me know that it's okay to just show up however you feel. I'm sure if y'all remember old school Oprah, sometimes you would see Oprah with her hair looking whatever kind of way. She didn't always look Oprah show ready, right? She didn't always, you know what I'm saying? But it gave very much so, I'm Black, I'm a woman, I'm gonna show up however I feel at that moment. My hair might not be fried, dyed, laid to the side. I might not have on, this bad outfit and whatever else.
Name brand,
and look like I do when I'm on my show. But I'm talking to y'all right now and I'm presenting however I'm presenting, looking like how I'm looking, because at the end of the day, I'm still Oprah. And when I need to put that on, I'm gonna put that on. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so that let me know that. But one thing that each of you said, starting with the George Floyd situation, I remember that. Right?
And still feel impactful today. You could say the name and your heart.
That's what it is. Because I remember the moment that I watched that video and it broke me down. It broke me. I literally started bawling and crying. And at the time I was working at Abounding Prosperity as a program manager for our trans program. And I remember seeing that and just literally losing it and breaking down and calling our CEO at the time, Mr. Kirk Myers-Hill, rest his soul, called him and was bawling. And, it was him who said, I understand, it's going to be okay. I'm here for you. And let's get you into counseling. Right. And he said, I will take care of it for you. I will make sure that we get you some therapy and focus on your mental health, because it definitely sounds like you need some at this moment. Right. And so that was my introduction, getting back into therapy. I had it before with my transition, going through everything, of course, because it's important, but it was that moment. And so I remember that moment and it was so impactful for me.
And thinking again about all the various ones since then, it's almost like it continues to happen. And so we as people of color are having to show up knowing that our brothers and sisters are being traumatized, actually murdered, killed, all of those things. But yet we still have to show up and take care of business in our many hats.
Right.
So that makes it even more challenging.
Yeah, because it's almost like we have to keep living life as if it's normal. But there's no more about it. There's nothing
normal about witnessing on national TV a real life. And it wasn't a movie. Mm-hmm. You know, you would have thought, is this a movie that we're watching?
Yeah.
No, that was real life.
Yeah.
That was real life. Somebody that, again, had brothers, sisters, nieces, nephews, mom, dad, all of those pieces. Yeah. And on TV, this is what I get to watch on a regular basis. Yeah. Because they ran that. It's like, okay, enough is enough. No, they ran that a whole lot of times, which made it heavy every time you saw it.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah, even though doing this work, you know, I know you know that, Doc, because people probably will ask you, say, how do you not take this home? All the time. They're like, how do you do it? How do you not take it home? Mm-hmm. That's when you need that other extra layer. Even though your profession is to take care of people, you got to have somewhere to lean on to
take care of that. And so what do you think about how did I take that home? I went back to school. Yeah. You know, I got the education piece so that I could help beyond that moment. Yeah. And so it wasn't that, well, actually, it became personal for me because I felt the need to save. I put on that Superwoman cape. Right. I'm saving my Black people. And this is what it looks like, that they need to have somebody, a safe place to talk. Where they're not feeling threatened, they're not feeling challenged, that they can be who they need to be in that moment so that they can heal beyond.
And we have to save us. Yeah. It's going to take Black women. We are going to have to be at the forefront of saving our community. You know, if you don't know, right now, Black women's HIV rates are on the rise, right? While other demographics are going down, ours are going up.
And then combating that, you know, Black women are the smartest people.
Yes, the most educated.
I'm going to say in the world. Why not? Yeah, in the world. We are here doing great things. So we have things. So we have to make sure we are taking care of our fellow sister on this journey.
And that we're educating each other, right? So that we can take that information out into our communities and make sure that we are pouring into our community, spreading each other, but also at the same time lifting each other up and taking care of each other.
We have to hold each other, not tear each other down.
Amen. I like that. Yep.
Any last takeaways for the community? Any last tidbits or action items for our audience today?
My action item would be if you have a desire to make a difference, if you have a desire to live your life how you want to live your life, go do it. There's no reason to keep you from it. And if you don't know where to start, ask somebody. Don't feel like you just have to do it on your own.
For me, the takeaway is that we have to keep going. There's help out there. There are people who are willing to say, here, come on, I got you. You should get them too. So we should do it together and keep going, because we cannot do it if we are not okay ourselves. So we have to take care of ourselves first so that we can take care of the community.
If you see something, say something, period. Conversation rules the nation. And so for me, it's making sure that we are educating ourselves, because with education comes understanding. With understanding comes clarity. With clarity comes change oftentimes. And so we have to be the change that we want to see. So making sure to speak up and use our voices. This has been a great conversation. Yes, I have enjoyed you, ladies. Yes. Make sure that you all tune in to the A Podcast every Thursday at noon, 12 Central Standard Time. This is the A Podcast. Like, share, comment, and make sure that you all tune back in as well. This has been amazing. Thank both of you.
Thank you.
And this has been great. Thank y'all. I hope y'all learned something and come back and see us soon.
Yes.